Hi, I'm Shelley Maurer,
And I'm Cher Emmerich. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball.
where we engage with pickleball players from around the world about life on and off the court.
Thanks for joining us.
Before we get started, we have something really exciting to share.
Our book, Life Lessons from Pickleball, is now available on Amazon, and a portion of every sale is donated to Operation PaddleLift.
Your purchase helps deliver paddles, nets, and resources to underserved communities around the world.
Thank you for being a part of growing the game we all love. Now let's jump into today's episode. Welcome everyone to Life Lessons from Pickleball. Today we are absolutely honored to welcome Nikki Baker and Shari Murphree, whose story shows just how powerful compassion and community can be.
Nikki is a retired FedEx leader, certified level 2 IPTPA instructor, coach, and passionate ambassador for the game. Shari is a retired healthcare executive who spent many years leading Willow Crest Hospital and Moccasin Bend Ranch, serving children and adolescents through mental health care.
What makes their story so extraordinary is that even though Nikki and Shari were not lifelong friends, when Nikki learned through their mutual pickleball friends that Shari was in desperate need of a liver transplant, Nikki stepped forward.
Nikki and Shari, we are so grateful to have you both here today. Take us back. How did pickleball first come into your lives?
Would you like me to start first?
Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. I am a COVID kid. So I started playing pickleball, I believe, around 2020. So I actually had a friend that said she was meeting another group of girls outdoors to play. And I'm like, pickleball. Oh, wait, I've heard of that. Can I join? And she was like, okay, sure. So my first paddle was, might have cost $25.
Yep.
Just going outside, outdoors to play on whatever courts we could find. And we were just trying to hit a ball around. And I think after the first night, I was hooked. I played high school tennis, I played collegiate softball. So I have a sporting background, and I thought pickleball, hitting that ball was so much fun. And I really enjoyed the camaraderie with the girls I was playing with. And before I knew it, I was out almost every night after work, because I started in the summer. So it must have been June or July in 2020. So I've been playing ever since.
Awesome. Shari, how about you?
Well, I was introduced to pickleball through some friends, and I'd started taking lessons actually and really enjoyed the game. And then I began to start getting ill. And so I haven't picked the paddle back up, but I've met a lot of great people, and I love to go watch the tournaments. It's a lot of fun.
So tell us, Shari, how did your illness come about? What did you first start noticing? And tell us the beginning.
Well, I had been told by doctors that you have a fatty liver. And I don't know what that means. So I just, every year they said, yeah, it's still fatty. And then I started not feeling well, and I went to some doctors. Nobody could figure it out. And finally, I got with a doctor in Oklahoma City and didn't feel comfortable with him either. And so then I went to Mayo, and Mayo is the one that actually said, you have cirrhosis of the liver. It's serious, or it wasn't serious at that time that I needed a transplant, but within 6 months, it was already getting kind of scary. And about a year later, it was pretty much life or death. And that's when Nikki came to the rescue.
Before we go to Nikki, Shari, for those who are not familiar with liver disease, what were some of the things that you were living with as you were getting more and more ill?
Anybody can have liver disease. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and a lot of the medications I've been on throughout my life has helped destroy my liver. And I don't have the best diet, and that was a factor. But yeah, you start getting a brain fog. You can't put your sentences together. You forget things. You're tired all the time, but you can't sleep. I was thrilled if I got 3 hours sleep a night. Usually it was more like 2 hours, and a lot of time that was just intermittent. Then had to get up and go to work. So I was constantly exhausted. It was a hard thing to figure out how to live with.
Yeah. Wow. And Nikki, when did you first hear about Shari's situation?
I can't remember. Sherry, do you remember when it was exactly? I mean,
No, I really don't. It was in the summer of 2024, because that was the one time that I had met you. You were at our house.
so
And
I think,
yeah.
yeah, I think it was probably late September. I think Roxy came to me and we had been playing
Roxy
pickleball
is a
together.
mutual friend of yours, or
Yeah, she's my partner.
Roxy's, yes, Sherry's partner. And Roxy had come to me and asked if I would help her try and figure out a way to get word out that Sherry was really sick and they were looking for a live liver donor. They had had a couple people attempt to test and had, for one reason or another, the Mayo had turned them down. And so I was talking to Roxy and I said, social media is always a good thing unless you're afraid to put the information out there. And that's a good way to start. It's a good way to get things spread and say you're searching. And so we kind of briefly discussed some ideas, and then probably 3 or 4 days later, I had mentioned something to Tracy, my wife, and we talked about it, like I said, again, rather briefly, but I just felt like I needed to at least try. I needed to look into what all was required to see if I could be a possible match and help Shari. The first thing you have to do as a live liver donor is you have to be one, your blood type typically needs to be either matching the candidate or type O. And I was pretty sure mine was type O. And so I ended up getting blood work done to make sure that I would be someone that could be considered as a candidate. And then once you get through that, you have to pass a series of many other questions. I mean, the Mayo is pretty thorough. You have to meet BMI. You have to give them your history, your back history of your health. And then if you complete all the boxes and they check them off and say you qualify, then I went in October for 3 days of testing all day. I went through various anatomy tests, scans, through MRI. And they had to check my heart, lungs, liver. I had to do, oh gosh, what all did I have to do? I had to do additional blood work. I had to do an evaluation with one of their counselors. I had to meet all the doctors. I ended up having to do a fitness test. So it's pretty extensive. I mean, they are definitely wanting to make sure this is something you're physically able to do and that you're mentally and emotionally prepared for. And the thing that I find fascinating is that Mayo Clinic has it set up for the live liver donor that at any point, if you are uncertain about your donation, you have the ability to opt out, which I think can make it even more challenging for those in need, because you think you have found your match and then something happens potentially and the donor has decided it's just not in their best interest, because it's a major surgery. I mean, Shari and I were both in surgery for several hours, and there's no guarantee when you go into something like that. You just have to go in with the idea that everything's going to be okay. And I felt like it was the right thing that I needed to do. I felt like I had a lot of support from my family and the community. My wife, when we went in April, she was sending out text threads. She had like 3 or 4 active threads because I had so many people on them. We couldn't put everyone on one thread because I had people reaching out wanting to know how I did, praying for us both.
Wow.
I was a little bit adamant, at the beginning. As it got closer, I was a little nervous, but I always felt like I knew that Shari and I were going to be okay. I just really felt like it was what I needed to do, and it was going to be good for both of us, and our outcomes, we were ultimately going to be fine in the end. So,
Wow. Now, you knew each other really well, or you did not know each other really well?
We didn't really know each other that well. We'd only met maybe once or twice. I knew Roxy really well because I played against her and with her in pickleball for 4 or 5 years prior. And so I've known Roxy and her twin Ronnie for several years. But Sherry's health was to the point where she wasn't participating in some social events. So I wasn't getting a chance to really see her.
Shari, what was it like when you heard that Nikki was willing to do this for you?
To say I was blown away is putting it mildly. And, just like Nikki had the apprehension at times, I could feel that, and I knew that she could back out anytime. So I had kind of some anxiety over that too. And I just tried to keep it out of my mind and just thought, what's meant to be is meant to be, and I'll deal with whatever comes. And fortunately, she didn't back out on me.
I never was going to do that. That really wasn't an option. I mean, I,
I know.
I got a little bit nervous. I think that's probably to be expected, but once I committed that I was going to do it, there was no backing out.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing something like that to someone, giving him so much hope, and then
Right.
at the last minute changing my mind. That wasn't an
Yeah.
option.
It takes quite a person to do that.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the procedure itself, are you in the same operating room?
No, Nikki went first, and because they have to take hers out, then because I actually went to see Nikki before she went back, and then I got sedated and all that good stuff, and we're in two separate operating rooms, and we each have our own set of doctors, and I picture them just going back and forth. I don't know how it all worked out, but yeah.
Yeah,
And just a portion of the organ was taken or the whole thing?
It's 70%. They take 70% of the donor's liver and give it to the recipient, and within 7 days it's already almost generated to full size again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
we have two liver lobes, and so that's what also makes live liver donation more complicated, because they take a portion of one of the lobes. And so if the lobes aren't close enough in size, then that can disqualify you as a donor. You can match in every way, and discover that, like for me personally, if one of my lobes, so for example, out of 100%, if one of them was occupying 70% of 100 and the other lobe was only 30%, they would need to take 2/3 of that larger lobe, and it wouldn't allow me enough remaining for me to be fine after. And so I just so happened to have, mine were like 49-51 or 50-50 or 48-52. They were so close in size, that they were able to take a good portion from the one that was slightly larger, and that portion is what went to Shari. And it usually does take it. I mean, it starts regenerating immediately. That's why after surgery, a donor is so exhausted. Like the Mayo makes you get up and walk pretty much immediately within 24 hours. They have you try and get you walking, but it takes everything in your body to do that, because your body is working so hard to regrow that. It's the only organ in our body that regenerates. And so
Jeez.
it's taking all of your body's energy just to try and grow it back. So it does take about a month to fully get back in size, but we were prohibited to do much of anything at least for 8 weeks. And then after 8 weeks, we had follow-ups and various things to check to see how we were doing. But it was a rough 8 weeks. It wasn't horrible. I was off meds within the first 3 days, but it was just, my cut is different than Shari's. And so my incision it's about 7 inches straight down the middle of from my, like the middle of my chest to my belly button.
Wow.
And so they split open your abs. And so that's so hard when they have to sew those back together, because every movement requires your abs, sitting, standing, turning, lifting, coughing, stretching, all of that you feel. And so it can be pretty uncomfortable for a few weeks.
Gosh. Shari, your incision was different?
Yes, they call it the Mercedes-Benz scar because it's shaped like a Mercedes-Benz emblem. course, without the bottom part. But yeah, I was coping pretty good.
That's amazing. And
Yes.
did you two see each other in the hospital
Yes.
Oh, yes.
before and
Yes.
after? And
Yes.
had you connected with each other even before this? Once you decided you were going to do this, Nikki, did you and Shari, did you two get to know each other better?
We got to know each other a little bit better. We actually traveled together and stayed together pre-surgery. And
Nice.
so we spent the first 2 or 3 days, share what was it? I don't remember before because we had to go up to the Mayo early. So we were
Mhm.
up there
Yes.
at least a couple days early prior to surgery to get checked in and make sure we were there. And then, in fact, I've played pickleball,
That's
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Of course.
but we were up there early, and then we shared an Airbnb together, and then after surgery we were together as well for a few days because the Mayo won't let you leave. You're required to stay at least 5 to 7 days
Mm.
because they have to do final checks, make sure your liver's functioning well, you're doing okay. And so we didn't get to leave the state for another week. So we were gone about, I don't know, 10 days or so.
Wow. And I'm sure the pickleball community showed up for you guys during this time.
They did.
Absolutely.
It was really, for me personally, it was really good. Had friends bringing food and checking on us and sending prayers, asking me how was Shari. In fact, recently, more of my friends, because of the article that was written in pickleball.com, they finally got to see Shari. Some people had known of her but hadn't actually seen her, and then
Oh,
they saw her on television at Mesa.
Yeah.
And then a few of them saw her again at McKinney. So our faces have kind of been around. We've been traveling the tour, so to speak, watching the PPA.
the liver tour. I love it. So, how has this experience, would you say, how has it changed you or impacted you personally? Each of you.
Here, you want to go first?
Sure. For me, I think, I was ready to do my 8-week recovery time and get back to work because I love my job. I love what I do. And I was just ready to go back. Well, it didn't work out like that. You think it's not going to be a big deal, but it was a big deal. And it does take several months to even, like Nikki said, your energy is so low, your body's trying to heal and regenerate. And it was like the more I stayed home, and I have one grandson, and I got to see him more. And it's like it took several months, but I finally came to the conclusion that I'm not going back to work. I'm going to enjoy life. So
Nice.
that was a big change for me, to get to work not being my primary focus and just to enjoy life.
Oh, that's a big shift. That's very cool. How about you, Nikki?
I think it's just made me more aware of the community that we have, especially through pickleball, how amazing it is that we meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds, and that a sport is able to bring us all together. Because my recovery, I think, was a little bit easier than Sherry's. And I was back up and playing pickleball again. I think within 3 months, I was on the courts playing. Within 10 weeks, 10 or 11 weeks, I was on the, yeah, 10, 9, yes, 10 weeks, I was on the court coaching again with assistants. So I had a friend, I convinced him to feed balls for me. And then I ended up using ball machines after that. But, you know, I just happen to have a job that allows me more flexibility. And it's just a part time thing. I'm retired too. But I really feel like the community that I've learned, or I should say that I've grown to love, got to know, was extremely supportive through all of this. They continue to ask how I am. As of recent, some people didn't even know what I'd done a year ago, and they're just finding out, and they are still thanking me and thinking it's incredible and an amazing thing. And I appreciate that. I, I guess for me, it's harder. I don't necessarily look at it the same way I guess some people do. In fact, I think on a lot of days I would have forgotten by now what we had done. And April 8th is our anniversary. It will have been a
Oh,
year ago. But my scar reminds me, and I'm glad that I was able to help a friend. But that was my whole objective, is that I had a friend that had a friend that she loved a lot that needed some help. And, I didn't want Roxy and Ronnie to suffer any more loss. They'd had quite a bit already in their lives between their past family. And it was getting down to the point where it was about to be just the two of them and their mom and Shari. And I just felt like it was a thing I needed to try, needed to do. And if it worked out, I was really excited about that. But I just loved Ronnie and Shari. And Roxy. They're all amazing people. If I could help them, I wanted Shari to have an opportunity, because she said she has a grandson, to get to see him grow, get to watch him, play soccer. And, he's Native American and he's a QT, and he's, actively part of the Cherokee community. And I didn't want her to miss out on opportunities that she wouldn't get if I didn't at least try.
Wow. Has this experience changed the way you interact on the court or coach players?
I don't know if I would say it has changed how I interact or coach with my players, because I think I coach differently than some coaches. Like, I'm a big fan of Dane Gingrich. I've read his book, I follow him a lot, and I really feel like his philosophy on coaching is pretty spot on. Like, we have to be more aware when we're coaching about trying to not be so focused on helping that person get their shot exactly right, as much as we need to be trying to figure out a way to bring them joy when they're on the court. Want them to be excited about the game, want them to want to continue to play, come back and see me, go hang out with their friends, continue to build community, continue to help this game grow. And my coaching is different. I didn't start coaching to see how much money I could make. I mean, sure, I was trying to make some money along the way, but I started coaching because I have always loved coaching. I mean, I've been coaching since I was 16. I just was coaching a different sport.
Wow.
I was coaching softball, and I didn't get to coach in college. And so this is now my opportunity to do something just in a different realm. I really do love it. I coach, my focus is mostly beginners. I do coach some intermediate, more slightly advanced players, but beginners is really where I love it, because they get so excited when they do something right. And they all think they're horrible. And the reality is they're not. They're not horrible by any means. They just need some guidance. And it's a lot of fun for me. I get a lot of joy out of it. And if I ever stop playing personally, I don't think I'll ever stop coaching. It's just a lot. It's something I enjoy probably more on any given day than actually being on the court playing.
Wow, that is really cool. Well, you both have had quite a journey. And Shari, you were saying you haven't yet gotten back on the court. You look forward to when you can do that. But I'm glad you're taking good care of yourself. And you were ill before the surgery, so you would have a longer journey to get back to full health. I'm glad you're on your way. What life lessons have each of you gleaned through pickleball or through this experience that was connected to pickleball?
I think for me, it was just, I've never been one to surround myself with a lot of friends and that kind of thing. But I've made so many friends just by being involved with it. I have friends in Tulsa, friends in Springfield, just all over. And learning to let people in through something that is so enjoyable has been good.
Nice.
I think for me, it's taught me that it's amazing that the direction life leads us, and you just never know by whom you might meet in the community, what an impact you can have on them or they can have on you. Just by happenstance, I know Roxy, and I met her 5 years ago. Had I not met her on the pickleball court, we may not be having this conversation. And so for that, I'm very thankful. I'm thankful we did meet. I'm glad that I was able to help a friend in need. And I think pickleball is creating such a community, and it's amazing all the different people we have, all the different skill sets that they offer, different places that they come from, that as you build your community, there's usually someone available that can help you in some way or another if you really need help. And I think that's the thing I love so much about pickleball, is that we ultimately get more than just a friendship sometimes out of it. I know I've gained friends that I never imagined having. I mean, I have hundreds of friends. I have friends in Florida, California, Arizona, Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, Arkansas, Missouri. They're just from pickleball, just between playing and meeting and getting to know people from the court and outside of that facility. And I think it's also a way to get to know a community. And as we grow older, socialization is so important. And because it's so important, it helps keep us younger, that pickleball is a great way to keep us younger. And so I really, really do appreciate all that pickleball has given me. It's changed my life. It's absolutely changed my life.
Me too.
Yeah, I'd say it definitely has changed your life, Shari.
Yes, definitely.
Has changed both of your lives. That is so beautiful. So, are you both on social media? And if so, how can people find you?
I'm on Facebook, Shari Jones Murphree, I believe. And yeah, that's pretty much all I do is for social media.
Facebook, okay.
Yes.
Yes, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Nikki, Nikki Baker, but I don't post anything about coaching or anything in particular. So,
Okay.
but if you're interested in, seeing my posts, they are
Yeah.
there. So,
And you are not advertising your coaching for people in your area who want to.
no, I've considered doing it, but I stay pretty busy, for the most part.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth really does me, pretty good justice. And so, I've considered maybe after this year putting something more out there, but for now, I don't want to get too busy.
Yeah.
Still
Good.
have to be able to play.
No, you have to have time to play.
Yeah, you want to play.
And I do take care of a little one once a week. So I stay pretty busy between home and pickleball. And I really enjoy playing. So I've got to have time to put in practice so I can get on the courts.
Well, this has really been such a sweet, sweet conversation. Very touching. I love the friendship that's developed between the two of you and the way that pickleball brought you together in such a meaningful way, and you're each finding your balance. Shari, you deciding, no, this is a good wake-up call. I'm going to just enjoy life. And Nikki, you wanting to keep your balance and not get so busy that you can't play pickleball and
Yes.
be with the little one once a week. It's really, really sweet. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Lister. Good to see you.
You do.
So cool. And thank you all. My gosh, thank you for tuning in today. What a sweet story. And, if you're in need, the pickleball community is probably not too many are asking for a liver, but maybe you have something that's not quite as drastic that you need. And the pickleball community almost always will step up. And so be sure to reach out if you're in need. And one thing we want to mention, if you want something to just kind of inspire you, we have this little book. It's called Life Lessons from Pickleball, and it features the first 80-some guests on our show. And Nikki and Shari will be in volume 2. And it has just a little vignette about each person and their life lesson. And it's just a real inspiring, lovely gift or something for you to look at each day. And a portion of the proceeds go to help deliver pickleball paddles, nets, and balls to communities underserved all around the world. So thank you all for all of your likes, your sharing, your subscriptions to this podcast. Please share this episode with those who you know will be touched by this story. And we look forward to a new conversation next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you love our podcast, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a few seconds to follow or subscribe to Life Lessons from Pickleball. This ensures you'll never miss an episode and helps us continue these wonderful conversations.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, go to the show page and tap the follow button in the top right corner. And on YouTube, click the subscribe button under any of the episodes.
Thanks so much. Hope to see you on the court.